Emma Thompson was a typical 16-year-old girl living in the small town of Maplewood. The morning sun filtered through her bedroom window, casting warm rays over her room filled with posters of pop stars and colorful artwork she had created. But despite the cheerful surroundings, Emma felt dread as she prepared for another day at Maplewood High. High school should be full of excitement and new experiences, but for Emma, it had turned into a battleground. Since the school year began, she had faced relentless bullying. It started with whispers behind her back, then nasty notes slipped into her locker, and eventually escalated to physical confrontations, with classmates shoving her in the hallways. Each morning, she stood in front of the mirror, trying to convince herself that today would be different. That today, the students who tormented her would leave her alone. But deep down, she knew that wasn't likely. Emma's heart sank as she recalled the taunts, the laughter, and the isolation that had become her daily life. One particularly awful day, Emma sat alone at lunch when she overheard a group of girls at the next table. They laughed and pointed at her. "Look at her hair," one girl sneered. "It looks like a bird's nest. She's such a loser," another added. "No wonder no one wants to hang out with her." Emma felt heat rise to her cheeks, tears pricking at the corners of her eyes. She picked at her food, wishing she could disappear. That afternoon, as she walked home, the weight of the world pressed down on her. She had reached her breaking point. When she got home, she locked herself in her room. Tears flowed freely as she pulled out her sketchbook, her favorite escape. Drawing had always been her passion, a way to express what she couldn't say aloud. As she sketched, she poured her heart onto the pages, creating images of strength and resilience, characters who overcame their fears. Just when Emma thought all hope was gone, she found an unexpected ally. Mrs. Adams, the art teacher, noticed Emma's talent and encouraged her to enter an art competition at the local community center. The theme was overcoming adversity, and Mrs. Adams believed Emma had a unique perspective to share. At first, Emma hesitated. The thought of displaying her work terrified her, but something inside her stirred. Maybe this was her chance to show the world who she really was. With new determination, she began working on her piece, channeling her emotions and experiences into it. As she worked, Emma realized that she wasn't alone. She reached out to fellow students who also felt marginalized, a shy boy who loved to write poetry, a girl who was a talented musician, and another who faced bullying for her weight. They formed a small support group, meeting after school to share their struggles and dreams. The more time Emma spent with her new friends, the stronger she felt. They encouraged one another to embrace their talents and uniqueness. Slowly, Emma began to stand up for herself, practicing assertiveness in their group discussions. One day, as she walked through the school halls, she overheard some students whispering about her again. But this time, instead of retreating, she took a deep breath, squared her shoulders, and confronted them. "Why do you feel the need to pick on me?" she asked, her voice steady. "I'm just trying to be myself, and it's not fair that you think it's okay to hurt others." The group fell silent, surprised by her boldness. They exchanged glances, and for the first time, Emma noticed uncertainty in their eyes. As the art competition approached, Emma put her heart into her artwork. She created a mural of a phoenix rising from the ashes, symbolizing rebirth and strength. With each brush stroke, she channeled her pain into something beautiful. The day of the competition arrived, and Emma stood nervously by her mural, surrounded by her friends. The community center buzzed with excitement as attendees admired the various works on display. When the judges announced the winners, Emma held her breath. Her heart raced as her name was called for first prize. The cheers from her friends filled the room, and she felt a rush of joy and validation in her acceptance speech. Emma talked about her journey, her struggles with bullying, and the importance of supporting one another. "Art helped me find my voice," she declared, "and I hope my story inspires others to rise above their challenges." Emma's victory sparked conversations around the school. Students began discussing bullying openly, and the administration took notice. They organized workshops on empathy and kindness, encouraging students to share their stories and stand together against bullying. Emma became an advocate, sharing her experience with classmates and encouraging them to speak up. Slowly, the culture at Maplewood High began to change. More students joined her cause, and a student-led anti-bullying club formed, dedicated to creating a safe and inclusive environment. Emma's courage inspired others to find their voices too. Her friend Sam, the poet, started sharing his work during school assemblies, while Lily, the musician, organized a benefit concert to raise awareness about bullying. Together, they created a ripple effect of change. As the school year ended, Emma reflected on her journey. She had changed from a quiet girl who felt invisible into a confident young woman who had found her voice. The bullying had not disappeared entirely, but Emma had developed the strength to confront it. One day, as she walked through the halls, she overheard a group of students laughing and joking. She paused, feeling a familiar pang of anxiety, but instead of retreating, she approached them. "Hey, I know what it's like to feel left out," she said. "If you ever feel like you don't belong, I'm here to listen." The students looked at her in surprise, but one girl stepped forward. "Thanks, Emma. I've been feeling really lonely lately." In that moment, Emma realized that her journey wasn't just about overcoming her struggles. It was about helping others find their strength too. As summer approached, Emma's mural was displayed in the community center, a symbol of hope and resilience for all who saw it. It became a gathering place for students to share their stories and support one another. Emma knew that the battle against bullying would continue, but she felt empowered to keep fighting. She had discovered her passion for art and advocacy, and she was determined to make a difference in her community with her friends by her side. Emma stepped into her future with courage and conviction. She knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she had the strength to rise above them. Years later, Emma stood at the podium as a guest speaker at a conference on bullying prevention. She shared her story of overcoming adversity, the importance of kindness, and the power of community. As she looked out at the audience, she felt pride. She had transformed her pain into purpose and inspired others to do the same. Emma knew that, together, they could create a world where everyone felt seen, valued, and safe. And in that moment, she understood that the journey was far from over, but she was ready to face whatever came next. With her heart full of hope, she smiled, knowing that she had risen above and would continue